Have you ever walked up to a cash machine, punched in your PIN, and had your withdrawal refused for absolutely no reason you could see? Maybe you just stood there, confused, wondering if something was wrong with your account. If that's ever happened to you, or you're worried it might, stick with me for the next few minutes. Because today, we're breaking down exactly how UK cash withdrawal rules really work in 2026, based only on verified information. No guesswork, no scare stories, just the facts. Welcome back to Pension and Benefits Guide, the channel where we cut through the confusion and bring you clear, honest, fact-checked updates on your money, your benefits, and your rights. If that sounds like something you need, hit subscribe now, because we cover topics just like this every single week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Let's start with the basics, because there's a lot of confusion out there, and a lot of it comes from rumors online. Physical cash is still completely legal in the UK. Nobody has banned it. And there is no law limiting how much cash you can spend on a purchase. That particular rumor has been checked, and it's false. So if someone's told you cash is being phased out or restricted by law, you can put that worry to rest. So what's actually changed? A few things. And they're genuinely worth knowing before you're standing at the counter needing to know them. First up, daily ATM withdrawal limits. Here's something a lot of people get wrong: these limits aren't set by the government. They're set by your own bank, and they vary more than you'd think. Most ATM withdrawal limits typically sit somewhere between £250 and £750 a day, depending on your account type and your provider. So don't assume your limit matches your friends, your neighbors, or even someone else in your own household. It really does come down to who you bank with and what kind of account you hold. Second, larger withdrawals from a branch counter. If you need a bigger sum, generally anything above around £2,000 to £2,500, most high street banks will ask for some advance notice, usually somewhere between 24 and 72 hours. And before you roll your eyes at that, it's not the bank being awkward for the sake of it. Giving notice lets the branch make sure it physically has the right banknotes on hand, and it gives them time to carry out the anti-money laundering checks they're legally required to do. Think of it less as a barrier, and more as the bank doing its homework so your money is ready and waiting when you arrive. But here's where the real impact becomes clear, and honestly, it's a good one. Bank staff are trained to spot when a customer might be under pressure or being coerced into withdrawing cash. Think romance scams, or rogue traders turning up at the door asking for payment. And there's a particular focus on protecting older customers, who statistically are more likely to be targeted by courier fraud. So if you're ever asked a few extra questions at the counter, please don't take it personally. It's not because anyone thinks you've done something wrong. It's a safety net, and it's specifically designed with pensioners in mind. Quick pause here. If this is useful so far, tap that like button, drop a comment below, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe. I read every single comment, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Alright, let's keep going. There's also been a real shift in how local banking works day to day. With more branches closing over recent years, shared banking hubs are now up and running across the UK, places where different banks take turns staffing the same counter on different days of the week. It's a different setup to what a lot of us grew up with, where you had one branch, one bank, one familiar face behind the counter. But these hubs exist for one clear reason: to keep cash access alive in the communities where the old branch has already shut its doors for good. Now, if you take just one thing away from this video, let it be this: don't wait until you're standing at the counter in the middle of an emergency to find out what your limits actually are. That's the worst possible moment to be surprised. One last practical tip before we wrap up. If you know you'll need a large amount of cash for a family gift, paying a tradesman, or a private sale, call your bank a few days ahead. It'll save you a stressful conversation on the day, and honestly, it takes 2 minutes on the phone. So let's recap everything we covered. Cash is still completely legal in the UK. ATM limits typically sit somewhere between £250 and £750, depending entirely on your bank. Larger branch withdrawals may need a few days' notice. And those extra questions you might get asked at the counter? They exist to protect you or not to accuse you. Now I want to hear from you. Has your bank ever asked you extra questions over a cash withdrawal? Let me know in the comments below. I always read them. And if you found this video useful, do me a favor and share it with a family member who still relies on cash day to day. It might just save them a stressful moment down the line. If you want to know more about what benefits and payments you could be entitled to this year, check out the video on your screen right now. I'll see you there.